Hey guys, how you doing? I just quickly want to take 10 minutes or so to show you one of the coolest things I bought at San Diego Comic Con. Obviously we go there for comics and signatures and fucking everything else, right? But went there, stood in a queue for signatures. I think it was for Stray Dogs or something like that. And one of the blokes behind me in the queue, we got talking about McFarlane signatures and everything else. And he had a very fucking cool backpack with him. And I was like, dude, this is a pretty cool one. And I think I saw it online during a Kickstarter or something. And he's like, yeah, this is it. This is a Jim Lee backpack. Now, when I saw the Kickstarter and I looked at it, I was like, yeah, that's great. I'm probably going to get it sometime in the future anyway. Not knowing that at San Diego, the Hex Brand actually had a stand there, right? So he said, well, he got his there. It was probably about, in terms of walk, it's San Diego Comic Con, it's probably about 10 minutes between where we were and where the bags were. At stand 874 or something, if I remember correctly. Anyway, doesn't matter. So I'm like, fuck it, I'm definitely going to go check it, considering the fact that if you guys listen to our podcast, you would know that Qantas fucked up and threw away all my luggage. So I didn't have any carry-on suitcases anymore. I didn't have any, suitcases anymore. I didn't have my backpack that I usually take to the conventions that I've been using for the past 8 years. So not just that I actually fucking need a backpack, I needed something that could protect my comics and everything else. And obviously this was geared towards that. So actually after the signature at Stray Dogs or Paper Girls, I can't remember, was done, I actually went to the Jim Lee stand, the Hex stand, to check out the Jim Lee bags. And dude, I was fucking surprised, man. Everything they said on the website kind of translates into the bag. It works really well. So I thought I'd show it off, right? And what I did is I literally packed it with stuff that I was carrying around at San Diego Comic Con, and probably also a little bit of shit that's lying around on my dining room table. So it's been through one convention already. It saved my ass. This is what it looks like. So the benefit of this, and this is a bit of a backstory, is at San Diego Comic Con they had a little postcard sized notice on the table saying, if you buy the backpack, you qualify for 3 signatures by Jim Lee the next day. I didn't think there was an actual formal announcement that Jim Lee was actually going to be at the convention. So we're like, fuck that, that's even better, right? You pay 110 US for an awesome backpack. You get 3 signatures from Jim Lee himself, the signatures themselves usually cost, what, 70 or 80 bucks each, right? So the backpack pays for itself. And the fanboy that I am, I was carrying around a bunch of comics in case I bump into him somewhere at a ticketing thing or at a DC booth, which wasn't there, but you know what I mean. So I thought, oh, I'm going to obviously buy this, get my Jim Lee comics signed, and the backpack pays for itself. Actually, very fucking cool. So, where do we start? The first thing, obviously he signed the backpack itself too. So, I had 3 comics signed and my backpack. I've got a very fucking cool photo of myself and my mate walking down towards Hall H with our backpacks on, with our signatures. Very geeky, but very fucking awesome. I'll post that as the start of the video or something. So what they did is, this is obviously status quo, stock standard, having a pocket for water bowls and crap like that. But they actually added this band so that if you want to have 2 tubes for posters, you can plonk it in there and it doesn't flop around, it doesn't fall out. You know how it tends to lean to a side or something, so it kind of sticks quite firm. For the sake of it, I'll just take it out so that I can show the bag off a bit better. It's thick and sturdy, and when it's empty, it actually doesn't weigh much. It probably weighs maybe 1 kilo, which was just under 2 pounds, I guess. I've already stuck a bunch of badges from CGC and Overstreet on top of it that I got at the convention. Now, there's a lot of little pockets that you take for granted, and on their website they pitched it as pockets for certain things, where it's like, this is nice, but considering that I was in a foreign country, in America, carrying all my shit, because I didn't have my backpack with me, so I had pockets full of battery chargers and phone chargers and cables and bullshit, and I realized, you know what, this is actually pretty innovative, but at the same time convenient, because I can organize it so things don't get messy or cables don't get tangled, pins don't go missing, all that type of shit, right? So what I'll show you first is the top pocket that was kind of intended, I think it is for phones and crap like that, right? So I had my phone charger, or my partner's phone charger in there, and charger cables as well. It's pretty flat and convenient, and also because it's not very deep, you don't have to stick around and fucking reach around and stuff like that. The bigger pocket at the bottom, as intended. I'm old school, like I've got CLZ and all the online apps and shit, but this fits in there perfectly. What is that? Overstreet price guide. So that fits in very nicely at the front pocket, but then there's also spaces for pens. I have my USB because we're presenting a panel, so I have my USB plugged in there. A whole bunch of different markers, and then at the back behind that you've got space for more cables or whatever you want to put in there. In short, you got nice cool pockets on the outside, 2 zippers at the front, almost like the bra in Seinfeld, and then the anti-theft device. So you know, when you're walking around with a backpack, you're always like, fuck, what if people behind, obviously I'm just more paranoid, what if people are behind me in the queues or whatever, kind of zip it open and take shit out of it. They've got an anti-theft clip that you actually clip both of these onto, and then it's kind of tamper-proof. Obviously it's not foolproof, it's not locked or anything, but people can't quickly on the quiet zip it open and have a quick look at what's inside. So I'll open that up. Now what I was really fucking impressed with, right, and I don't know if that translated well on their website or on their pages, where they said there's pockets for laptops and graded books and blah blah blah, but the engineering in the bag itself, again, there's a bunch of shit in here that I just found on my table or came back from San Diego, so I don't even know what I'm going to pull out. The backpack, the back pocket, they say that's for a 15-inch laptop. What I found really handy was, because I carry the comic protectors, it actually fits in there perfectly, and it helps protect the integrity of the bag too, because it's thick and heavy, right? So I had that in there. I carried around 15 comics in there, or 12 comics in there, and it kind of propped everything else up along with that. So that was a cool outcome really for me. I didn't carry a laptop around, so that was good. And then as you can see inside, there's 3 or 4 pockets at the front, and then there's a separation where you can actually put a bit larger things in, and then there's 3 or 4 pockets at the front. Now the benefit of this is obviously there's space all up for about 25-30 comics, but it's got side impact protection. So if you look at where I'm putting my hand in, you can obviously chuck shit in there. If you get pins and cards and blah 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 at the conventions, but what it tends to do is it protects your books. So there's another layer of protection. It's like your books are really protected because there's a layer there that's kind of elastic, then there's a void, and then there's the outer backpack. So really, essentially, it works really well. Now, in terms of the pocket sizes, I did find that I was carrying around like large magazine size comics like Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles 1 and a few things that I was buying on the day, because they're the orientation, the size of slabs, they had no problem fitting in. So as part of the view here, I'll show you each pocket at a squeeze could fit 2 slabs, but I'm more comfortable having 1 slab in each. Not that you carry around slabs anyway, unless you sell it to somebody or bought one on the day, I guess. But yeah, it was pretty convenient. So got some slabs in there, and you can feel you can knock the bag around a bit. There's no risk in actually damaging anything. So these are my Perez ones that I got back yesterday. And that leaves the middle pockets. At a squeeze, like I said, probably 25 or 30 books can get in there. Nice and tight. It doesn't feel like you're going to bend corners or screw things around. And because of the depth of it on top of the bag, so you can see the bag ends there, the pockets end further down. So it's not like you have to pull everything out and try and figure out what the fuck's going on. You can actually literally just flick through it like you do with a short box. So it's very well engineered in that sense that it involves a lot less tampering to get to comics and stuff that you want to get to in the bag. So I'll just take everything out so I can show you what it looks like empty. So yeah, I've got a couple of magazine sized bags in one of the pockets, I think 4 or 5, and it fits easily into a pocket. Also, again, some of the stuff I bought at San Diego Comic Con, there's Mexican and some Australian yuffas that I found on my table. Alright, so bag's empty, and that's what it looks like all up. You got the 4 or 5, the back pocket for laptops or larger books or whatever, these pockets fit slabs. They're pretty cool, but also magazine size. What I did, because I had a lot of comics to be signed, carrying around, probably about 25 at a time, I fit like 4 or 5 in each of these pockets, and I just basically organized it by the signatures on the day, so that I just move front to back and knock them all off as I go. I had CGC facility or CGC witness with me, and you know, they give you the tamper-proof bag, so when you get a signature they put it in a sealed bag. So I had a separate pocket that I just kept for those little bags, so that they in turn also don't get knocked and moved around when I sort through things. So it's very easy to organize. And if you look at it, the lighting's not great. If you look at it, I mean, those pockets are thin, but they're also felt. They're like soft and fluffy, man. I can climb in there, it feels like a fucking backpack pajamas. And then there's the little details like Jim Lee art on the inner lining, which is very nice. And yeah, just extra support for your back. So you got the front, the front clips too that you can use if you want it, that I don't necessarily use often. But all in all, man, like literally this bag weighs a kilo. Might have been exaggerating. It's probably about 800 grams at most, right? Very sturdy, and you can pack the shit out of it. So I ended up obviously packing all my valuable shit into this and using this as my carry-on on my way home from Australia, from America to Australia. That's why it's a little bit wrinkled too, because it's already been through the wars in the first convention it saw. But what this does mean is, unfortunately, I'm retiring my 10-year-old Quicksilver bag that's been doing the trick for me, where you kind of retrofit the engineering around making the bag work for your needs, whereas this is actually really designed for it, right? I'm so impressed with the fact that you can organize shit and quickly get your stuff. You're not standing at a table with signatures trying to find your pens or figure out where your book is, because you can actually do that long before you actually get to a convention. And also making sure that, you know, if you drop it, nothing's going to fucking break, because it's double impact protected, and it's really cool. I sound like a geek. I've never been so fucking excited about anything aside of comics and boobs, but it's really cool, really cool. So if you guys don't have it, I think it's online. It's probably more expensive online, like $140 or whatever. The conventions in the US circuit, they'll probably table there and you'll get it cheaper, because I think it's a state by state GST thing too, I'm sure. But I tell you, the fact that my travel insurance will likely pay for this, and I got the 4 comics signed, or 3 comics in the bag signed, fucking amazing. Anyway, that is it. Really excited about it. Small things that excite geeks, I think. Enjoy the rest of your day. Thanks for looking. It turned out to be 13 minutes instead of 10. But tell you, best invention ever for a comic collector to walk around with, because it makes your walk around carefree, and don't have to worry about people getting into it. Have a great day. Enjoy the day, guys. Bye.